Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before, this is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Are you still listening to half-assed talk radio with a host talking down to a caller? Turn it off and turn on the Great American Broadcast Network. You'll hear the host talking with lots of listeners, the citizen panel, and they become the co-hosts. Turn off half-assed talk and turn on talk radio with more ass than you can handle. All opinions, all ideas, all in one place. The Great American Broadcast Network.
Hi everybody, this is Alex Bennett, and I've had a long and interesting trip. It's called life. And for years, people have demanded that I write a book about it, and while I've been a writer, my main talent has always been that of a broadcaster. Over a year ago, I decided not to write the book, but using my best skill, I decided to tell it. It's called Life in the Passing Lane, and I described it as an audio biography. It's presented in 30-minute chapters, so it's easy to binge listen. And you can access it on the GabNet page by clicking on Life in the Passing Lane and going to a page with every single episode, plus some extras. If you want to access it on your mobile device, that's easy too. It's on iTunes. It's Life in the Passing Lane, an audio biography by me. I'm Alex Bennett.
Spotify has 180 million monthly users and access to 35 million songs and podcasts. Now, all those offerings are going to have to move over and make room for GabNet programming. Yes, at long last, Alex Bennett's Ramble, Damian Chaplin's Exchange, Jack Bishop's The Intersection, and even the franchise MC's Arena and Michael Snyder's weekly movie reviews will be fighting for space on this massive platform. Each day, the programs are updated, so you can hear them on the Spotify app, available for all smartphones and game consoles. Or you can just go to Spotify on the web at spotify.com. So, give us a shot on Spotify. There's a 35 million to 5 chance we'll get people to listen to talk like they've never heard it before.
Jack Bishop of GabNet's The Intercept, Tuesdays through Fridays at midnight Eastern Time. It's everything from what's going on with the new royal couple to what's happening with that grumpy old man in the Oval Office. Movies, music, old TV shows, you name it. From thoughtful discussions to out-and-out fights like my grandma would referee between my uncles. So from mild to wild, join me, Jack Bishop, Tuesdays to Fridays at midnight for The Intersection on GabNet Live. It's talk like you never heard it.
Reasons why you tune into GabNet. Here's reason number 9. Great celebrity guests.
So how many years is this now with Teller?
43, and that's 43 continuous. You can try to say Keith Richards and Mick Jagger go longer, but they take 3, 4, 5 years off. You know, even when they're together, they take the time off. Continuous, you know, no more than 2 weeks working apart, I think.
Wow. And
like being waterboarded for 43 years.
GabNet. Reasons to listen every day. Log on to gabnet.net for more. GabNet. It's talk like you've never heard it before. Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
hey! Hey everybody, this is Alex Bennett and this is the Ramble. We go from now until, let's see here, midnight Eastern time. But right now, let's talk to an old friend. Guess who's here, ladies and gentlemen? Hey kids, It's
Mr. Fun.
It's Mr. Fun, Larry Bubbles Brown.
Hey, Alex.
Hey, nothing but fun, Bubs.
Yeah.
Always fun. It's your
2-year positive feelings. Everything's great.
Yeah, because you know how positive life can be, and
Yes.
you're a positive person.
Yes, we had a little positivity here
Not.
last week. Louis C.K. did a gig out here. And I wanted to go see him. I was working, and that caused quite a stir.
Why did it cause quite a stir?
Oh, they had protesters, and people say they're never going to go to the San Jose Improv again. And, of course, it was the biggest rain in years that night, so the protest turned out to be 6 people out in front with a bullhorn.
That shows you commitment.
Yeah, exactly. And he sold out. He had to do an extra show. He did a Wednesday, Thursday, and he did 3 shows, sold them out like in 3 minutes.
You know something? I got to tell you something. Of all the Me Too shit going on, this thing with Louis C.K. bothers me. And it bothers me because if you were to ask any of those people protesting, even if there were 100 of them, what is it exactly that he did, they can't remember.
Or they have one of the women that's on the news, she says, we can't support comedy that's connected with sexual assault. And I don't think what he did was a sexual assault.
No, it wasn't. In fact, it was... Here's exactly what happened. According to these women, they were in a room with him, okay, and they all knew him, all right, and we all knew Louis on some level. You probably knew him too, you know, and Sarah Silverman said this was one of the things he liked to do. It was kind of like almost you expected it out of Louis. It would say, do you mind if I pull my penis out and show it to you? And I think Silverman said, sure, go ahead. And then she laughed a lot. You know, I mean, she didn't take it as an assault, all right? So now these women say that Louis C.K. asked if he could pull his penis out, and then he pulled it out. Yeah? Did any of you say no? Did any of you say, oh, no, or did any of you leave the room when he did it?
No.
No? Well, then I'm sorry, that doesn't count as assault on any level. Maybe it's not what you do in polite company, but, you know, I mean, I think he's really gotten a bad go on this deal. And you know something? You said he sold out?
Yeah.
I bet he sells out everywhere he goes because of his notoriety now.
I would think so. I was curious as to why he picked San Jose Improv.
Well, maybe because...
Probably wanted to get away from the East Coast. But.
Yeah. But, I mean, also, the thing that's hurting him, though, is he had a lot of TV projects going and movie projects.
Yeah, he lost all those.
He lost all those.
He said his life's been ruined. In the paper, he also said that the only thing that they could do now is take away my birthday. They've ruined my life.
Yeah. But he... I just think that this... He was like... I guess maybe number 3 or 4 when they were going around busting people like crazy. Like they did Weinstein, and then they did, what's his name, the guy from House of Cards? Spacey. And I think he was number 3. And he, you know, when you compare it to, I mean, this is what I hate about the whole Me Too movement, is that one size fits all. You know, I mean, is the crime that he's accused of as bad as the crime that Weinstein is accused of? Not even close.
No.
Not even close. And is it in the same league as the things that people have said about Spacey? Not even close. You know, but they've got him in the same category with these guys and Bill Cosby. and it is grossly unfair. You know, and
it's just the so he's, I don't know how he comes back from this.
Does that worry you as a comedian? I mean, is this a whole political correctness just starting to get a little out of hand?
Oh, I think the things we did on your show 20 years ago, we would be we'd be arrested today.
Yeah.
We couldn't say 90% of the stuff we said in 1997.
Hey, now let me, for people who don't know Larry, okay, and don't know of his past, he was on my show and he did traffic. And one of his big catchphrases with traffic was when there was a stall on a highway, you would say,
"Park it, whore." Became a huge cat. I remember I sold T-shirts that said "Park it, whore."
Yeah, park it. I have one here, I think.
It's a collectible.
Park it, whore.
Today
T-shirts.
You would be no way in hell you could do that today.
Oh, you'd be considered. That's not right. That's not right to say to a woman. No. Mm-mm. You know, and I mean, and you know something? Maybe somebody could go back and lay that on you and say, remember when you used to say "park it, whore" all the time? What was that about? You know?
Well, I think if of course it won't happen, but say something happened and I got in a sitcom or something or got some notoriety, that would come out and I'd be ruined.
Yeah.
We can't. Oh, we got to fire you. You did this in '97. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it's terrible. It's terrible, and I think that there's we can't do this. You know, it's just not right.
It's very similar, I would think, to the McCarthyism.
Easily.
Blacklisting.
Well, that's what I've said. It you know what it is? Here's the problem with it. Here's what bothers me. It's accusation, and then it ruins one's career.
The accusation is considered a conviction.
Yes. The minute they accuse, you're convicted. Mm-hmm. Listen, this is going to make some people mad. There's this whole R. Kelly thing going on. Are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
Now, I watched the documentaries, and I said to myself as I watched it, what a fucking sleazebag. You know, this is horrible what he did to these women. Mm-hmm. It was disgusting and it was vile. Boom, period. But because they did a documentary on TV saying these things went on, doesn't mean that he should lose his contract with Sony Records. Because these are just accusations by people and a documentary that was made to be somewhat sensational and to get ratings. And there, you know, while I believe every minute of that documentary, I don't think he should lose one scintilla of work out of it. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because now they say, well, he did go to trial. Yeah, but he was found not guilty. Now, whether you agree with that verdict or not is not in question here. What you should be arguing about is whether he should be told by Sony, we don't want you to be on our label anymore. And so, while I think he's a sleaze and he probably did everything they said he did, let's convict him of something. You know, let's let him have a day in court. And he did have a day in court for some video that he shot of him peeing on a teenage girl. And what they were actually busting him for was the porn. They weren't busting him for peeing on a teenage girl. And he was found not guilty. And so he never went to prison. Okay, well, that was a court case. Come up with some more. You know. And now he says he has these women, kind of in prison, that he's a Svengali and blah, blah, blah. Well, he's a pimp. All right? And I don't sanction anything that he does, and I believe every inch of the documentaries. But I'm not going to say he shouldn't work because of the documentary. And that's what happens with all of this, is that it's now by implication. And that's what they used to say. Are you now, or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? I refuse to testify on the grounds that you don't have the right to ask me that question.
You're done.
Goodbye. That's your career.
Bye-bye.
And then the next day, their movie studio drops them, or their radio station, in the case that I saw personally, drops you. And you weren't found guilty of anything. You were simply asked a question.
Yeah.
You refused to answer because you had the right to do that. And so now you have people making accusations. Now, the biggest, can I say this? I will. I don't care. Cunt in America is Kirsten Gillibrand. She's our senator from New York. She's running for president of the United States. Mm-hmm. She's the one that went and threw Al Franken to the wolves. And Al Franken finally just said, well, forget it, I quit. I'm not going to put up with this. I can't represent my constituency with this kind of thing going on. And he just quit. But she's the one that kind of forced him out of office, forced him into that position to quit. And, he was like one of the most liberal Democrats in the Senate. And she was like, it was like eating your own for lunch. And I will never forgive her for doing that. Never forgive her for doing that. And I would not vote for her if she ran for dog catcher. All right?
Yeah, and I think the thing Franken did, I think it wasn't just a kind of a joke anyway, that everyone was in on it.
It was a gag photo. The woman who did it knew what was going on. I think the reason why Franken decided to quit his post as senator is he just went, I don't need this shit.
Yeah.
I think that was his general feeling about it. I've got other things I can do with my life. I don't need this shit. And I will never forget that Kirsten Gillibrand did that. And how dare she even run for president of the United States, the cunt.
Yeah. Let's stop her
now.
And
by the way, you might be upset with me using the word cunt, but actually it was too nice a term for me to use because a couple of years ago, I asked, what's his name, the guy who did We Are the World. See, that's what happens with me in my brain. Anyway, he's British, and I asked him, I said, how come you guys all call each other cunts? Because in England, they use that term.
Yeah. Right.
Hey, Bob's a real cunt, Hey, you cunts, come over here. And so he said, well, we think of it as a term of, and I could do this on serious because we could say the word. He said, we take it as the term of endearment. Mm-hmm. It's not a terrible term. And so I have a promo where he says, Alex Bennett, this is so-and-so, and I want to say you're a real cunt. And so by calling her a cunt, I'm probably saying a nice thing about her rather than a nasty thing about her. So let me just call her a two-faced bitch, all right, and leave it at that. How dare she, And she did it because she knew she was going to be running for president, and this would make her look good in the eyes of some people. Now you got a woman running for president out there in California, Kamala Harris. Yeah, what do you know about her? Because she looks good to me.
She's good looking. I heard she's not that bright, and she may have moved her way up the ladder by getting friendly with Willie Brown.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you saying, let's be very honest about this, that she fucked Willie Brown? Is that the rumor?
That's all the jokes I've heard, yeah.
Uh-huh. God, I think I would be down on anybody who fucked Willie Brown. But really, she had an affair with Willie Brown, it's rumored?
That's the word, yeah.
Yeah. Well, she is very attractive, but I watched her on TV, hot, and I said, of all these women that are up and running, Kirsten Gillibrand, Pocahontas, what's her name? And Kamala Harris, I said of the three, I would probably put my money on Kamala Harris. For a couple of reasons. Number one, nobody around the country really knows who she is. So they're going to discover her, which is much better than having an opinion going in. Okay? And she is attractive. And I'm talking about all the electability factors here. And she seems to be very politically in the right place, when it comes to the left. So I so far of all the people, but what's the opinion of her in your home turf? Because that's where she's from.
This is, I think, her first or second year in the Senate. There's not a lot of I don't really hear a lot about her out here. I know she's well liked in San Francisco, but that's certainly not the rest of the country. So I don't know how she'd play to Ohio.
I'd like to say that after 2 years in the Senate to run for president is a bit, what's the word?
Soon.
Too soon. But look at Obama.
He didn't stop Obama.
He was in for 2 years when he announced his presidency.
Or Trump, who was in for no years.
Well, yeah, Trump. Wow, too bad you aren't into political comedy, because you'd have a whole one-man show based on.
Well, I think Trump is actually. I think he saved a many career, didn't he? I thought Colbert was on the verge of being canceled till they went to all Trump all the time.
Well, yeah. I still can't watch Colbert.
I can't either.
I mean, I can't watch Fallon either. I mean, those are just train wrecks, both of those shows. I like Kimmel.
Kimmel's been on for 15 years now.
Yep, been on for a long time, and I think he's very good. In the true tradition of those late-night shows, Jimmy Fallon just makes everybody play board games with him on the show. Mm-hmm. And Colbert, I don't know, there's just something that's not funny about him.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And, the thing he did on Comedy Central was a hit, but he was playing a character. And the character is probably much more interesting than Colbert. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. But we were talking about political correctness, and have you had to change anything in your act because of this political correctness, or do you just not
I think
care?
We've all had to tone everything down a little, yeah.
So for instance, can you name something in particular that you exorcised from your act? From your act.
There's one joke I still do, only because people tell me I shouldn't do it, but it still gets one of my biggest laughs. Is my favorite part of sex is slamming the trunk and pushing the car in the lake, which is a little dark, but
yeah. But now the question is that, are you being what is that exactly? Is that a problem? I mean, it's a funny line.
Yes, it's a little dark, but
yeah, no, it is very dark, but it's good dark. And
but that's why I hate this political. It's just like, I'm not really a serial killer. Okay, this is a joke. I mean, the fact that anyone would take it seriously is beyond me. But
yeah, until they start having the protests outside your theater, in which case you'll probably have a big act.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're saying that Louis C.K. I mean, he's selling out his venues. There's no question about that. He just
they said that he sold that out so quickly. It was unbelievable.
It's just FX canceled all his shows. He had about 3 shows on FX. He had Better Things, and he had his show, and then there was one other with I can't remember his name, but he played a rodeo clown. And he was the producer of each of those shows, and they just completely got rid of him. They kept the shows, but they got rid of him as a producer.
Right.
And all on insinuation, even though he did admit that he did those things. Which now, in retrospect, I would love, if I had Louis C.K. in this room right now, I would say, do you have any regrets about saying you're sorry that you did it, or apologizing for it, or saying, yes, I did? Because there's really no value in admitting it. You know, usually we used to think of admission as being the first step towards a mea culpa, you know, that you're and everybody goes, oh, okay, since you apologize and since you say you did it, now you can get on with your life. But this isn't the case today.
Yeah, nowadays they force the apology, and then they don't accept it.
Exactly. Well, he was like in the early group, okay? So he apologized, all right, thinking, hey, I'll apologize, and everybody will go, okay, he sees the error of his ways, and now get on with your life. But that isn't what happened. And it's terrible. It's just terrible. And so if you want other people to say, I'm sorry, or I see the error of my ways and I'll never do that again, you're not going to get that anymore. What you're going to get is these are unsubstantiated rumors, or, nobody's telling the truth here, or any one of a number of ways of putting it. And I think that that's a dangerous precedent, too. We should give forgiveness to people who apologize. And
and we should also have total freedom of speech.
Yeah. And again, where he was concerned, none of these women left the room. You know?
Yeah, unless he was holding them in the room against their will,
Well, he asked permission.
Yeah.
You know, he said,
what he was doing was an odd thing. I would maybe get therapy for that, but...
Yeah. So, hey, look, yes, certainly the behavior, he was known for that behavior. As I say, Sarah Silverman said, who was a good friend of Louis C.K.'s, that he did it any number of times to her. And it became kind of a joke. Well, apparently some people, when all of a sudden it was Me Too time, all these people went, oh, you know what happened to me? Oh, I can say Me Too as well. Oh, hey, Louis C.K. pulled his penis out in front of me. And there were two other women in the room with us, and he, and then he asked if he could pull it out, and then he pulled it out. Well, did you say no? Did you leave the room? Did you act upon it in some way that would make you not have to put up with it? No. So, I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's horrible, and it's I feel sorry for Louis C.K., okay?
Well, where do you think he'll be a year from now?
I don't know. Every time he says something that doesn't set right with people, because recently he said something about the school shootings. And I don't know the context of it, and I didn't hear it in the club, and everybody laughed, supposedly. So within context, when you have somebody else saying what he said, it's not going to be funny. But when he says it and he's put it in the context of something else, then maybe it balances out. But they're looking for everything they can to nail him on something. And I think I feel sorry for Louis C.K., okay? I'm sorry, folks. Go start picketing the show. All two of you who will listen to it. Because I'm a podcast and nobody listens to podcasts. Oh, they listen to podcasts, but, only, anybody who tells you they've got 10 million people listening to their podcast is lying to you, okay? All right. Hey, Bubs! Guess what?
Just flew by.
Life's too short.
It is.
And we've spent some of it talking to each other. I don't know what the significance of that is.
Maybe it's too long, life.
Hopefully we'll talk to you next week, Bubs.
Okay, Alex.
Celebrating 4 years of talk like you've never heard it before. This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network.
Hi, everybody. Let me see here. I got to check something here. A few things. Things go wrong, things go right. We can't make sense of them. Well, wait a minute. Why isn't that? There we go. There we go. There we go. Okay. There's certain information I need over here in the equipment category or in the software category that I wasn't getting. So now I'm getting it. And now I will go to the Skype lines. Let's make sure they have a tendency to work tonight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we have two people who were on the last show, which was Damien's show, and they're listed there. I'm going to get rid of them so that we have a nice clean slate to work with. Hello, everybody. How are you? My name is Alex Bennett, and I'm here to complain about everything that has to do with getting older. I mean, I'm not taken to it too well. Not taken to it too well. I just, I'm getting to the point where I'm just going, well, I have a great fear of death, but, compared to life, maybe it's a blessed relief. I don't know. But anyway, you have a chance to call me and talk to me. I'm very tired tonight. I'll explain why as soon as I get somebody to talk to here. Because I hate starting to talk about something and then all of a sudden, people call and I have to kind of interrupt what I'm saying in order to answer the phone for them. So I'll wait till we get ahead of steam here, and then I'll tell you why I'm so tired. It's basically, obviously, because I didn't get much sleep last night. And the story of why I didn't get any sleep last night is kind of fun, actually. So... Anyway, if you want to call us, by the way, you go over to gabnet.net, and there's a whole tutorial over on the right. Why am I telling you this? Nobody does it anyway. On the right-hand side of the page, gabnet.net, and it'll tell you exactly how you can be part of this program. Hello there to Phil Meyer, always usually the first guy calling on the program. How you doing, Phil?
Because I actually listen.
You actually listen, right. And here we are. Here we go. We're ready to just kick some ass, right?
Yeah, and take names.
Yeah.
Bag them and tag them. So, hey, you said you were tired.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to let you sit there and beg for callers. I just
I
don't
have to beg for callers. We get callers.
Plead.
No, I don't plead for them. It's just tonight I'm really tired. I'll tell you why. Okay? Here's the deal. Remember the story yesterday about going to the dentist and just the horrible experience that I had?
Sure.
And I came back and the filling she put in the tooth was rough, and then she told me, well, in 24 to 48 hours, if it doesn't go bad, then you're out of the woods. And I'm going, why are you telling me this stuff to begin with? You know me, I get terrorized by that sort of thing.
Did you rub your tongue on the rough filling until it bled?
No, but I rub my tongue on the rough filling, because you will always do that. People do that. This is normal procedure, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Standard procedure.
So I had this filling. What happened was I had a filling that had been there for about 7-8 years, and all of a sudden it felt very loose in my mouth. And I looked, and it was wobbling around, and apparently it was falling out. And I went to her, and she said, well, I don't know. It kind of looks solid. And then she wiggled it a little more. She said, oh, yeah, it's loose. And she says, but this is a very small tooth, and you're very close to the nerve. And so rather than put in the white filling, that they do, I'm just going to give you a regular filling, right? So she gives me the regular filling. And I leave the dental office, and I'm even at the train station terribly depressed over how the whole thing went down with the dentist.
Is that filling visible?
Huh?
Was it visible at all?
Yeah, it would be visible, but I mean, you couldn't see it unless I went. See.
Yeah, well, that's not visible.
That's not visible, but I'm at the train station, and I'm going, this is rough. And she says, come back on Saturday, on Thursday, and I'll burnish it. I don't want to do it right now because I might ruin the filling. And
I don't know whether that's correct.
None of this is making any kind of sense. Well, anyway, I get home. I'm doing the show last night here. You know, I went out a couple of times because there's something felt wrong in my mouth. All right?
Yeah.
So now it's time for me to go to sleep. I put my head down on the pillow, and I feel this thing moving around in my mouth, between that tooth. And I go and I look in the mirror, and sure enough, the filling is falling out. It's getting loose. Right now, this is at 2 o'clock in the morning. You know, I can't suddenly go to the dentist. She said to me, she says, if you have any problems tomorrow, just call my partner, the other dentist. And she introduced me to him, and he looked like a nice guy. And he'll help you if suddenly you have this toothache that I'm predicting is a 50% chance will happen. So I can't go to sleep, so I got to take a Xanax to put me to sleep, and then I got to get up at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I've got like 6 hours sleep, which I don't work well on, and that's why I'm tired now. And I go down to see this guy, and he looks at it and he goes, "Yeah, it's falling out." I said, "Well, she just put it in. You know, what kind of filling?" She said, "Well, might have had some saliva in there. She didn't dry it out enough. You know, there's a whole litany of things." He said, "You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to I'm going to replace this with a white filling. You know, porcelain or whatever it is. I don't know what the
composite."
Yeah. And she was telling me she couldn't do that. But somehow he felt he could. He said, "Now, you got a choice. I can give you a root canal right now, and you'll be over and done with it." You know, he said, "But if I put a filling in here, it may only be good for a couple of years, maybe 5. You know."
Well, that's pretty good odds.
And I'm going, you know, at my age, who knows? You know, I mean, as I'm lying in my grave, it falls out of my mouth. Okay, you know, doesn't matter to me. So I said, well, since I've already, and he was going to, I didn't know whether he was going to charge me for this or not. But I said, let's just do the filling thing. So he went through the whole thing, and I mean, I got to tell you, number one, he was terrific. Just, you know, how some dentists are terrific and other dentists are, he was, you know, he says, if anything hurts, just raise your hand. You know, I said, you got a lot of stuff in your mouth, so just raise your hand, and I'll back off until we, you know. And he gave me a shot of Novocaine that was the easiest shot of Novocaine I've ever gotten. You know, a little pinch, and then nothing. It was fine.
You must be going to my dentist.
Yeah, I mean, he was really, really good. And he did the thing, and he filled it and did the thing. And he said, now, look, he says, I said, well, what about this 24 to 48 hour period where the tooth might go bad because it's too near the nerve? He says, oh, no, don't worry about that. He says, that's not going to happen. He said, in a few years, it may get worse underneath, and then, you know, then you've got a major toothache, and then you got to do the root canal and so on. He said, but we keep taking x-rays every year, and we'll check it to make sure it's not getting any worse, okay? Yeah. So he let me feel that I wasn't going to feel great pain from this tooth. Now, I don't know if I will or I won't, but, and then I said, how much? What are we going to do about the charge here? He said, oh, no charge. He said, you know, I was correcting something that went wrong, and I'm part of this office. And I said, can I ask you a question? He said, what? I said, would there be any bad blood if I suddenly made you my dentist instead of her? And he said, no, we're all the same, you know, we're all the same office, you know, and, you know, you can go to either one of us. And I said, I much prefer you. I said, because, quite frankly, this was shoddy work she did. And he didn't say a word like, oh, no, you know, he knew it was shoddy work.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this problem, I came home yesterday from that thing, and I was so depressed. I didn't talk to girlfriend. She's mad at me today because I didn't talk to her last night. I just didn't want to talk to anybody. I was just so off-put by this whole situation. And, you know, I don't need that, you know, and it was just one thing after another. And then when at 2 o'clock in the morning, I put my head on the pillow and I can feel this thing moving back and forth between my gums, between my teeth, I'm going, I just hope it doesn't fall out before morning, you know, and it didn't.
Yeah.
But
Well, I wonder why she gave you the bum's rush. And that's basically what you got.
I think so. I think I got let me put it this way. He had a whole different way of handling it. No, we're going to put the white stuff in there. We're you know, the acrylic or whatever will hold better than a traditional filling. And but no, she felt she couldn't get it to fit again because there wasn't enough tooth. Well, this guy's younger. He's Ukrainian. He's and I think he was able to do it because that's what he does well. He could get in there and make the notch that's needed to make this thing work.
Stay, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, a good deal of that tooth is now filling. But he did it, and he did a very nice job of it. And then, you know, the fact that he didn't charge me an extra charge for it just made me say, this is my guy, you know.
Well, there's a bright side to every
this is the bright
encounter.
side. This is the bright side. I mean, I always had a certain terror of going to her because I never felt comfortable with her, you know.
Was she hot?
No. She's like, you know, 70 or something like that. I don't know. She's not hot. I mean, she's a nice enough lady, you know, but the bedside manner or the chairside manner, if you want to call it that, just wasn't that good. And it was a real problem. So at 2 o'clock in the morning have this happen, I just went, oh fuck, you know. I mean, this is unacceptable.
What was the reason for being up and out at 9? The dentist?
No, I had to get up at 9 so I could call the dentist and make an appointment. He saw me at 1:30. You know, the one thing about dentists, which is kind of interesting, if you have a dental emergency and you call your dentist, they can fit you right in. Yeah. Now, you begin to get the idea, well, I guess he's not very popular. But all dentists leave holes in their schedule because their business is more of an emergency business than it is a proactive business. You know, they like it to all be proactive and nobody to get toothaches, but people get toothaches and they can't wait on a tooth. We have an appointment in 2 weeks for you. No, that doesn't work.
My dentist that I have now originally was a friend and not my dentist.
And now, since he's a dentist, he's an enemy?
Well, no. What happened was I broke a tooth, right? The tooth cracked. And on a Sunday, he had me come into his office and had another dentist that he was hanging out with that assisted him, and they took the x-rays and fixed me up.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I said, you're my dentist now. And I go to Alameda.
I mean, this guy was so good today and just so caring and so amiable, you know, so charming that I just said, he's my dentist. You know, this guy, he probably can do wrong, but he can't fuck me up like she did. You know,
is he a Trump supporter?
I doubt it.
He's from Ukraine. You know, he may be.
No, I doubt it. I doubt it. What's Trump ever done for the Ukraine?
He told Putin that they shouldn't go in and invade.
Oh, okay. That was very nice of him.
He said, don't do that.
Yeah. No, I don't even think this guy's a citizen yet. He said,
really?
Yeah. He said, he said, why'd you come here? He says, I got a green card. I applied for a green card and they gave me one, and you don't turn that down.
Yeah.
He said, so he came over here, and he's been here for 20 years, something like that. And he had to go, in order to be able to practice dentistry in New York, he has to go back to school for 2 years.
Yeah. So would he be considered a dreamer?
No, but he had to go to school for 2 years here to qualify to be a dentist in New York State. But now that he has his own office, he's doing very well. And I got to tell you something. Hi, Charlene. How are you?
Good, Alex.
Yeah. The thing that I'm an old guy, so I can say this, but he's a younger dentist. And I think that says something. You know, he's old enough, he's done it, he's in his 40s, so he's done it long enough that he's got the experience, but he's young enough that he still knows all the modern current techniques.
Well, you see, older dentists had, unless they really do a lot of continuing education and they're not just, going for a walk in a park, the younger dentists do a lot of continuing education. My friend is the 3M sales rep for dental universities for the Western region of the United States.
Yeah.
And the amount of information, training, and so forth that is not only given in the dental schools, but before he was that, he used to have to put on these seminars for dentists, and the amount of education that they go through, and how they have to dry the tooth, and how many seconds they have to put the little light on there, and
well, I
have to learn.
I asked him what the light was for because she didn't use the light yesterday, obviously.
Well, you didn't need the light unless you're using a composite.
If you use a composite, what it does is it says it goes in a liquid and then this hardens it. It dries it and hardens
exactly.
it.
But she's using silver, and the silver
amalgam.
Yeah, it's an older method. It's cheaper too.
It has mercury or something too.
I don't know about that, but. So the methods are different, and it's just the amount of continuing education.
And I asked him, I said, if I get a what do you call it, a root canal. Before she used to send me out to people for the root canal. He says, well, I do them.
Yeah.
He says that's part of what I do, and he said I only charge $1,100.
Well,
which
it sounds like he has more training. Because his repertoire is larger.
Well, yes, he also does implants.
Wow.
Yeah, so, I mean, he's a full-service dentist. He said, but he's not a specialist, and that's what makes him different than a lot of other people. That
general dentistry. But how much does he charge for an implant?
I didn't ask,
Alex?
Yeah.
I have a dental nightmare story. You want to hear it?
Sure. Why don't we hear a dental nightmare story? Let's see. Is he going to be on
I'll condense it, and I won't make it a big, long epic. But, I get a lot of stuff happening to my teeth, too. Yeah. I heard you last night, and then when you talked about it now, I said, oh, my God, I have to call in. I go to, a dental school in the hospital, and they always stress that these people are they've got a degree in dentistry because they went to Rutgers University and all this. Right. But what they're up there in the hospital to do is probably to take patients so they can learn how to work on all different kind of things because they're right out of testing in dental school, Yeah. So that means that what they're up there for is to learn how to be better when they get to practice, right?
Yeah.
So I've had good luck for years up there.
I had a friend who went to a dental school to get his dentistry done, and it was fine.
It takes a long time.
It's supposed to be better because it gets checked a lot by really
so
good
it takes
dentists.
longer.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've usually had good experience and everything, but in the last year, I don't know what happened there, but I went up and I hate to say this, I'm not a big, huge a thumping feminist. I mean, I am a feminist though, but I mean, to me, it seemed like when I got women, I had a lot of trouble. So I had these two women one time that, the one girl, she was very rushing. She was definitely a New Jersey girl, young, she was real fast and rushing, and something was making me nervous about her. But usually, I'm okay because I had no bad experience. Well, she ended up, Alex, dropping the whole drill into my mouth while it was going.
Jeez almighty.
Maybe you were talking too much.
Wait a minute. While it was going?
I think it was, Phil. I think it was.
Wait a minute.
So
while it was...
You don't do that to somebody, though. But I swear I was bleeding and everything.
Wait a minute. Let me hold on a second, Charlene. When you say the drill, do you mean the drill bit or the whole drill fell in your mouth?
The whole drill while it's going. It wasn't on. It was on.
Did it rip up the roof of your mouth?
Yes, it ripped, under your tongue. That piece that's stuck. It was bleeding. And I mean, I'm really good because most people would be screaming. I don't know how I wasn't, but... I was.
When you go to a dental school,
and get this, she says to me, "Oh my God, it's really bleeding. Do you want me to put some stitches in it?" I'm like, "Yes, put the stitches in it." She had to suture it up. It was really bad. Can you believe that?
No.
So now, whenever I go to the dentist, I have to explain to them I have this fear
Yeah.
When I get in the chair now, that I have to explain to them that just go easy with me. Please don't do something because I had a really bad experience in the dentist. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that would be a major one. Did you, when you went to a dental school, did you have to sign a release or something that you wouldn't, to indemnify them against any
Like
legal?
suing?
Yeah, because they're practicing on you. These are not experienced dentists. These are people who are learning to be experienced dentists, and some of them are terrific, and they're getting A's. You know.
Right, but that doesn't mean that they're very good with patients, you know?
You said that this was a Jersey girl? What did she have, a bouffant hairdo?
No, that's the old school 80s girl.
Everybody in Jersey has a bouffant.
No, these girls are like Rutgers girls, and they're all blonde, and they play tennis, and they're just, you know, daddy's rich, and oh, God, I even hear them talking sometimes. Daddy's a dentist or a surgeon.
Yeah.
And, you know, they know the medical profession. But she was, like, really in a big rush and everything. And she did not like me. I think it was because I was talking. Like, out here, they want to talk. And if you go in talking, they get mad because they're supposed to be talking, you know.
Yeah.
All I got to do is put a dental dam in your mouth and what are
I know.
those things?
Don't, like, rip the, you know, my tongue out. You know, just tell me, please, you know, lady, shut up. Or, you know.
Now, I got to ask Patrick a question. Hi, Patrick.
Hey,
It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm alive and well.
Oh, okay. That's all we want. That's all we care about.
I thought your wheelchair was frozen in place and you couldn't get over to the computer.
Yeah.
No, but it's pretty fucking cold here. 23 below this morning when I woke up. So.
Oh, really?
Wow.
So my question is, I suppose, what did I do with my phone? Did I leave it in the other room? I guess I did. What's the temperature right now here? Oh, it's 8 degrees. 8 degrees.
Yeah.
Patrick, you go to the dentist, right?
Yeah.
What do they use for a chair with you? They have to pick you up and put you in the chair?
No, they one of the chairs they have is low enough that I can transfer.
Okay.
Out the chair into the dental chair. So.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering about that. You know.
Yeah, and when I had a dentist that I went to for 20-some years.
Yeah.
From when I was a kid all the way until I got paralyzed. And this was the dentist, you guys were talking last night, I heard, when I listened to the rebroadcast.
Yeah.
The dentist was the dentist. There was no hygienist, and that's what this was. This guy was...
That was Bree's guy, I think.
And I'd go in there, I'd get a cleaning, do everything, and like 20 minutes later, you're out of there. Well, I got paralyzed, and I couldn't get in a chair. So what he did is he would do all of the cleaning and that while I was sitting in the wheelchair. So it was a different experience. And then he retired, and then I've never had a hygienist until then and all that, and sitting in the chair, and so I felt like I was, a celebrity then.
Oh, I remember my original dentist years ago when I was a kid. I was like 18. I didn't have a cavity or anything till I was like 18, and then he found a small little one, so it gave him something to do. And he was my best friend's father, and he was. I don't think he had anybody else in the office but him. He walked in the door, and there he was with his chair. Come on in, sit down. Yeah.
My childhood dentist worked out of his house, and I had him from the time I started going to a dentist till I got out of high school, and then it ends up I dated his daughter when I was a senior in high school.
Yeah, I mean, things have changed a great deal. In those days, if you got a toothache, well, guess what? They're pulling the tooth. And if they're pulling the tooth, what do you put in place of it? Well, you just get yourself a denture.
A false tooth,
bridge. Whatever. Today, root canals, crowns, and best of all, of course, you get implants instead of losing the tooth. Well, you lose the tooth, but then they hammer a spike in there, and they, I found out
the dentists used to use leeches and perform a phlebotomy.
Yeah. No, here, I'll tell you, I think I mentioned this before. Implants were invented hundreds of years ago by something like the Samoans, who would take pieces of wood and pound them into somebody's jaw. And
that was called torture.
And then put a fake tooth on there. Well, yeah, but they kind of invented the implant, the concept of the implant. But now, of course, it's a specialty,
And the Japanese used to implant bamboo shoots under the prisoners' nails,
But here's what I'm wondering. I looked. What?
So did the Viet Cong.
Right. Oh, exactly. Yeah. So no. So I was trying to figure it out. With the implants, I looked around, to see how much implants cost, and there are a lot of people who have dental practices who said implants $1,300. Now I don't know if that includes
all the other stuff.
All the other stuff. It probably doesn't include the crown. That's for damn sure. And it probably. But nevertheless, they said, and I saw quite a few of them, about $1,300. And I think
material that they bake, that they make the implant tooth from.
Yeah.
That the blank they call them costs $35. My friend used to work for Ivoclar Vivident, who makes those machines and those blanks.
My ex-girlfriend used to, while she was going to college, in order to pay for college, joined. Who is this, by the way? This is just a regular caller on the phone. Who is this? Hello.
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Might be Doug.
Who is this?
Doug. Hey, Alice.
Oh, okay.
Doug, Happy New Year to you.
Okay, let me.
I guess you took me on block, so I appreciate it.
Okay,
made my year.
Well, don't make me regret. Don't make me regret it. What was I going to say?
Oh, you said you had a girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. She put herself through college. Worked for a company that made crowns, and she said that she delivered the crowns, and she told me about that business. And when you get a crown, to begin with, there's a 50% markup, 100% markup. Excuse me, 100% markup. The dentist puts on the crown. Like if they buy it for $500, you pay $1,000. Yeah. And I thought about it. Boy, what a ripoff that is.
Totally.
Because really what's happening is my dentist is becoming a middleman for selling the crown. It's like he's buying it wholesale and then he's selling it to you retail.
Didn't you tell him you weren't Gentile? That you get it wholesale?
But I mean, to begin with, they make the money because they make the mold. They do the setting for it and all of that. That should be what they make their money off of, not the fucking 100% markup on the crowns.
Well, and they mark it up according to where you live. By geography. So if you live in a high income area, they mark it up even more. Like in Palo Alto, it's twice as much as in Tracy, for instance.
What do you think the rent is in Palo Alto compared to Tracy?
Oh, at least triple.
Well, that's why they have to mark it up.
But like when Bree called in the other day, we figured out that we here, Phil, can fly to where is he? Dubai, get a crown, and come back and save $2,000.
What he didn't tell you is his dentist is a nomad in the middle of the desert, living in a tent.
No. His dentist
was, and can I put this mildly, a piece of ass.
And half off.
But I mean,
I'm going to Dubai the next time I need it.
I'm going to Dubai just to have her work on my mouth.
Yeah.
A lot of people go to Mexico.
Punch yourself in the face just to get over there.
And they do other elective surgeries in Thailand.
Well, there are places in this world that you can get some of those elective surgeries done, and they are cheaper and they are good. You know, we tend to put a kind of look at my dentist yesterday. Okay, been around, I don't know, 40 years doing dentistry, right? Look at how she fucked up my mouth. All right. So how is it going to be worse if I go to Thailand to get my teeth worked on?
17-hour flight.
Massage too. Huh? Special massage. You can get a crown and a happy ending.
You know, I wonder if they have issues with sepsis and bacteria and things like that in some of these hospitals.
All those shithole countries do.
Although my friend Jimmy lives in Thailand now, and he's got some maladies that are very, significant. And he goes to the local hospital in Korat, which is in the middle of nowhere. And he says, to get treated, including the pills, it's like $12. It's amazing. He's got some sort of thing where he's got something on his brain, and it could kill him any second. But he moved over to Thailand and he married a Thai girl and lives in her village.
Yeah. And Doug,
die any second.
What do you say, Doug? I put
die any second. I hope you're doing well. I have talked to you in a little while, so everything's okay with you.
Yeah, it's fine. It's okay. I'm on my way to dying.
Aren't we all?
Yeah.
You and me both.
I'm trying to decide what to do with the rest of my life.
I have a daughter getting married in June, and it's like, oh my God, why do they make it the responsibilities of the brides that have to pay for the damn wedding there?
Doug is father of the bride, right?
Yeah, but
father of the bride.
Well, the father of the groom though pays for the honeymoon or something. Isn't that the tradition?
Everything except for like the reception dinner.
Jeff, you've been there.
I thought they had good deals at Waffle House.
Jeff, you've been there. What's the tradition on that?
I wish.
No, I'm talking to Jeff.
I'll even take IHOP.
I'm talking to Jeff.
Yeah. He can't hear you.
Jeff.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
It's been such a long time since I thought about that. Matter of fact, my daughter's 44 years old today.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Happy birthday to her.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what happened. This was a long time ago, and I'm sure I paid for a lot of it.
It's amazing.
That's all I can remember.
All I have to say about old age is it's amazing how time flies when you weren't having fun.
Well, I tell you what, like, when we had high school reunions, I went to like freshman, sophomore year in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
Junior, senior year in Savannah, Georgia, and I was a reunion whore. I went to every high school reunion. The 40-year reunion came up. I had like no interest whatsoever.
Even at other people's schools?
Reunion crasher, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I was a reunion whore. I'll be admitted. I was a whore. I loved going to those things, but when it came to the 40 reunion, no.
I didn't like those people when I was 18. Why would I like them now? My 47th is coming up, and I'm not going.
I went for a reunion. I've told the story that was on a boat, and I saw everybody getting on the boat. I didn't make myself known, but I saw everybody getting on the boat, and I went, I'm not doing this. And I turned around and went home because I didn't want to be stuck on a boat for 3 hours with what I looked at as being old people.
Well, I've got this thing called classmates.com.
Yeah.
And you can look at these people and hear their stories. And I know I didn't like them then, and I still don't like them now.
Yes, Patrick.
Well,
Patrick, shut up. Doug, I just said Patrick.
Sorry.
So pay attention, okay? Because we don't have a video on you, and
I'm on the phone. I'm not on.
Yeah, and you don't have a video of them, so you can't. It's very hard, much harder for you to participate. Okay.
And hello, Patrick.
Yes. Anyway, Patrick.
Happy New Year to you.
Yeah.
For my 10-year anniversary, I got, or reunion, I got paralyzed. And I was able to miss that one, which was good. Then we had a 15, which I came up with some other excuse. A 20, and I think our 25th was last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't give a shit. I like Bill said, I didn't like half the people when I was in school. And the ones that I do like, I can keep up with on Facebook.
Right.
And you keep them at arm's length. You know, I mean, I don't see anybody. So it's a big racket. And if I really gave a shit, you know, I'll meet with somebody in person, just them. I don't need all of those people. But I just found the paralysis one as the best excuse on why I couldn't go is, oh, I just got a touch of the paralysis.
Yeah,
so.
right. I got it. Yeah. I'll tell you something. I went to one that was a ranch up in Sonoma. They held it there, and I think that was like the 20th or something like that. 20th or 30th maybe. And I went to it, and it was amazing. It was amazing how some people had aged and other people hadn't at all, you know. But at one point I had my tag Bennett Schwarzman, right? Yeah, and I'm going around. I'm talking to somebody. And we're talking about, and you've been living in Marin. Yeah, where do you live? Well, I was in New York, and now I'm living in San Francisco, and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, it was either a he or she, pauses, looks at me, and goes, "You're Alex Bennett." I said, "You found me out." But that was the last one I really went to. The other one I tried to go to was the one where everybody was getting on the boats, and they were all considerably older, and I didn't want to be on that boat, okay, with them, stuck with them. I can't get off of it till the boat pulls back into shore. At least at a ranch, you can leave whenever you want to. If it's at a hotel, you can leave whenever you want to. I always have hated any kind of event. We used to have radio station promotions where we would rent out a boat and invite our audiences, our fans, to come up.
That's no excuse. You can always jump overboard.
Wait a minute, to come on the boat with us. And I hated that because I was stuck on a boat with fans. I mean, there was nowhere to escape. Okay, so you had to be nice for 3 hours, you know. So
I guess fans and friends are definitely two completely different things there.
Yeah. You've been drinking.
You probably have no friends.
You've been drinking tonight, Doug. You sound like you've been drinking tonight.
No, actually, I'm not. Just laying back with my two dogs and.
Doug has turned a new leaf.
Really?
Yeah. Photography has been good for him.
I'm trying to do the best. I can see, as I said, the term starving artist. But Phil, I definitely appreciate all your inputs and not inputs, but I mean inputs to my, critiquing my photography and all that. So I definitely appreciate that.
It's my pleasure.
Taking the time doing that. And I like that last picture that you posted about with the church and the bright lights.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very nice picture. Anyway, but I'm sure I was boring the shit out of Alex. So, anyway, sorry, Alex.
Okay. Anyway, let me see here. What is anything happening in the news again? It's just the same old shit, isn't it? Although now it seems as though Trump thinks he knows more than the CIA, the FBI, and ambassadors to foreign countries.
He's always said so.
Yeah, he sure does, doesn't he?
Yeah. Well, maybe he does.
These guys,
those other guys told us that there was WMDs in Iraq.
No, not those guys. But these guys are saying that the CIA,
the Bush guys.
No, they're saying that watch out for North Korea because this guy is still making missiles. And they said that
he's not testing
and then they said Iran has not restarted their nuclear programs, And what was the one other thing that he brought up? Oh, yeah, and ISIS is still a problem. And these are all the things that we've been told by Trump. Oh, ISIS is no. Oh, and the Russians and the Chinese are a problem too. You know, and they are. And he's always saying good things about Putin, and he's always saying that we've got to stop Iran because they're building those nukes again, which they aren't. And I want to make friends with North Korea because he's going to stop making missiles, which he hasn't. You know.
He stopped exploding them.
How do you know?
Yeah,
launching them. How do you know?
It's like test site got like blown up.
There are underground test sites, Phil, that you can test all.
Yeah, but they can tell if there's an underground explosion. Now, the USGS can figure that out. When, just like with earthquakes.
If it's deep enough, it's harder. Yeah, it's much harder. You know. But
I mean, Trump's an idiot. I mean, Trump's just I mean, it's sort of like if Obama did anything like this or Clinton did anything like this, you'd be calling for impeachment.
You mean aren't they?
Well, whatever. Yeah, okay, we'll let it go by. Okay.
No, we haven't called for impeachment yet, Phil.
Didn't you hear that lady in Peach 45 and Peach 45? Barbara Lee, is it, or is it the one that I was on the plane with?
One or two people of millions of people in the United States. You're going to say because this one person did it, that means that everybody wants that. That's like a broad stroke of the brush. There, you can't do that.
You're going to play syllogistic reasoning with me. There's plenty of people out there that want to impeach
I want Patrick's point of view on this. I don't want Phil's. I want Patrick's.
Okay, what do you want specifically?
Your opinion. You always got a good opinion.
In general?
No, he's talking about people wanting to impeach Trump.
And overall. Yeah.
The Democrats.
What's going on with everything, Mr. Patrick?
I mean,
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Ray Renati just put up a sign saying he's not available right now. He's making his wife happy. Well, that should take about.
What does that mean?
Is that why he put that neck massager on his neck for the last 10 minutes? So he'd be in fighting form?
In Ray's case, I think that'll take about a minute and a half. So he'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yes,
Patrick was
Patrick.
No, well, for one, I didn't vote for Trump, and two, I'm not as anti-Trump as everybody else is that called this show except Phil. But I'm definitely where I sleep with him. So it depends on what's happening. I've been very cautious with anything that Trump wants to do internationally because I don't feel that he has the ability to make his own decisions or listen to other people unless it's pounded into his head by his own family. So if the military is explaining something to him, he has to listen to his daughter or his sons.
Oh, worse than that. Worse.
Or his son-in-law.
Worse than that, Patrick. Sean Hannity and Laura Ingraham.
Yeah, Laura's hot. I'd fuck the shit
out of her.
You really think Laura Ingram's hot?
I haven't been laid in a couple of years. Give me a break.
Oh, okay. All right. I'll give you that.
You're doing better than me. I'm married.
Charlene.
You guys mentioned Trump and whatever Patrick said, maybe just think of this. I was somewhere today, and I was mentioning that they were calling him Governor Chris Christie on the Colbert Show, although he's no longer governor. Or does that mean that?
No. You still call somebody governor even after they're no longer a governor.
It's for life.
Same thing.
They still call Giuliani mayor.
They do it all the time.
Yeah, and you do the same thing with senators or anybody. You can have somebody that was a senator, a congressman for 2 years, and they're congressman so and so for the rest of their lives.
Yeah. I was mad because Colbert didn't ask him how come you had lap band surgery, but you're still about 300 pounds, you know?
Well, the trouble is he ate the lap band. That was the problem.
Right. So anyway, this woman starts saying, she brought up Trump when I mentioned Christie, and she said, I listen to all the religious radio shows, and I feel that Trump is the savior of the world. She said, if the Democrats get into power, we're all going straight to hell. And I said, okay, yeah, sure, you know.
Who said that?
I was like, this one is a loony. But I hear that people don't like Trump that much anymore, and they're realizing that he's like a crock. But I guess obviously this woman is drinking the Trump Kool-Aid and stuff too. She was like so gung ho.
Well, I said this.
Trump supporters think you guys are treasonous, and you want porous borders. And
nobody
don't want the rule of law.
We've never said we want. Wait a minute. We never said. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Hold on, Doug. Hold on. We didn't say we wanted porous borders. We said we wanted strong borders, but we don't think a wall is the answer.
Well, you're also not the president, and he is.
Well, but he's not. He doesn't have much control anymore.
We'll see.
He's an idiot.
What do you mean? We'll see.
Hey, you could be down a couple of points in the first quarter, and then all of a sudden you figure out what the opposing team is doing, and you come back to win the game.
He's too egotistical to do that.
No, he's going to get knocked out in the 12th round.
Exactly. Better, good syllogism.
Hey, can I point out something real quick that happened at a show I was at, and I'll try to make it as quick as possible, even though I know I'm wordy as hell. And I might have brought this up one time, so if I did, please stop me. But I was at this show, and I had this family from West Virginia, and the guy there was talking about all of these conspiracy theories to me. And now, I'm political and all that, but when I'm at a show like this, I don't talk religion or politics or anything like this. And this guy was telling me, you wait till after the election, after November the 4th. I was like, I'm thinking the election is November the 6th. And he goes, and there's Russia. He's like, there's going to be a civil war that's going to break out that's going to be, caused by Antifa. I'm like, Antifa is like a bunch of skinny college kids going after fascists, which I have no problem with.
I think it's pronounced Antifa.
They just arrested the leader of Antifa. Yes.
But anyway, this guy claimed when he was 13 years old. Now he's 60 plus years old. He claimed when he was 10 years old, he somehow got in some secret government storage unit and found this big crate that was full of these coins, and he grabbed a handful of these coins, and that this was something that was been going on for the last 50 years to get this civil war going on after the election, because they're Bitcoins. And it's Bitcoins is that's not reality.
There was no cyber anything 60 years ago.
Patrick. Wait a minute.
I'm just sitting there, just nodding my head, okay.
Hold on, Doug. Hold on, Doug. Doug. Hold on.
Stop, Doug.
Hold on.
Oh, that's Alex. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to tell you shut up, Alex. I'm sorry.
Patrick has his hand up, but you wouldn't see that because you're on the phone.
The guy that you were talking to, Doug, was his name Tim by any chance?
He was from West Virginia, and the only reason he came to my booth was because I had a picture for this haunted amusement park from West Virginia out of Princeton, and they were from Princeton, so they recognized the picture right away. And that's what, brought him to my booth, and this guy started talking to me, and his family was walking around, and I think they stole one of my pictures from me.
He didn't
only
buy
$10 pictures. Well, no. If I said, I think if he stole it, I don't think he bought it. So, no, it was a picture. It was it was there beforehand. Now it's gone because somebody was looking for it. So anyway, but
it sounds like a conspiracy.
It was only. Excuse me.
Sounds like a conspiracy. To steal your pictures.
Conspiracy, not me. I can care less if somebody stole a $10 picture from me. My life's going to go on. So.
Okay. Well, that brought the show to a grinding halt.
I'm sorry. I apologize. Put me on BAM again. So anyway,
I'll think about it after the show.
Don't.
Anyway,
I'm enjoying the time on here.
Where were we? Well, now I'm completely thrown off.
You're flummoxed, bro. Well, we were talking about Trump, and we were talking about. Charlene had brought up a point about the people not wanting to impeach him. And my counterpoint was, no, I think that most of them want his opposition want to impeach him.
No, for instance, I've always been against impeachment because I think that the amount of effort that it's going to take will not realize itself before the election.
Were you here for the California impeachment of, what is it, Gray Davis?
Yeah, how long did that take?
It took about a year, and then Schwarzenegger got elected.
Well, yeah, because he got 2 votes and everybody else only got 1.
No, Gary Coleman was the spoiler. He actually ran against. He was also running.
And also a porn actress. Well, I'm trying to remember her name now. Was running for governor.
That one I don't
It
remember.
was in that governor's race. Anybody could run.
There were 40 people, I think, running.
Something like that. Yeah, so Schwarzenegger won out of a field of 40 by getting more votes than anybody else. So I say he could have won by 4 votes.
I can't remember that porn actress's name.
Yeah. Well, then that means you are drunk. Anyway, Patrick.
I think you are the only person I know of on the left that is not supportive of recalls or impeachment. And recalls for the reason of, like you've explained, if you elected them, you have to deal with them, let them do their job. And as far as the impeachment, it's the time constraints. And I agree with you on both of them.
Well, also the money it costs. I mean, when they were impeached... when they impeached Clinton, it cost this country $50 million to do that. You know, and what did it do? So he got impeached, but he didn't get convicted, you know.
Right.
And that was never going to happen. So, I mean, what they do is they try to do this to slow the people down, and I just feel that, like, I think Gray Davis was a recall. I don't think he was an impeachment. He was a recall.
Yeah, I guess he was a recall.
Yeah, he was a recall. They took a recall vote, and they recalled him, and
they voted him out.
They voted him out. But I just feel that the guy got elected. Let's not have buyer's remorse. Let's do whatever we can to slow him down so he can't do much damage. But, you know, impeaching him, if we started impeaching Trump now, let's say Mueller came out with his report tomorrow and it said he was sucking Putin's dick, okay? It would still be 2 years before that thing would ever come to a head. And how long did it take with Clinton? It wasn't like overnight with Clinton.
It was at least 2 years, maybe more.
Come to a head after sucking the dick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, and when you think of what Clinton was, you know, was found impeachable for, it's almost
this is
laughable.
That lying I was talking about last night, that, you know, you tell one thing and it's really something else. I mean, with Clinton, he lied. But with these other guys that they're convicting or charging now,
Trump isn't lying. He lies 10 times a day.
That's your news.
No, it's not my news.
Documented 8,000 lies in 2 years.
Documented.
Well, he's consistent.
No, he probably will go down as the most lying president of all time. Remember who do you call lying Ted? Ted Cruz?
Yeah.
Call him lying Ted?
Phil, let me ask you something. What's the worst lie? Saying that you'll still get your same doctor, or the Mexicans are going to pay for the wall? What's the
Doesn't
worst
matter.
lie?
It's all bullshit.
No. You're not answering my question. I ask you.
I think that's you know, the ACA. I think the ACA was a bigger con than the wall.
The ACA
cost more money. It took away the rights of individuals to decide whether they want to buy insurance or not.
I just love how, and that's not a personal attack against you, Phil, because I like it.
Of course it is.
But it's just sort of like, oh, you know, Obama told, you know, that we can keep our same doctor and all that. How horrible.
I kept my same
You asked me which one was worse. You asked me which one was worse.
But the Mexicans are going to pay. But the Mexicans are going to pay for the wall, and it's like all of a sudden, like, now I'm going to shut the government down because I want $5 billion from the taxpayers, you know, to pay for the wall, and it cost us $11 billion to shut the government down.
And how much does it cost us to deal with the undocumented aliens?
That's a simple question. What is worse?
I told you what was worse: the ACA and Obama's con game to raise insurance rates.
Listen, I got to go. My wife just got home and she's doing tax season. Alex, always a pleasure talking to you, Al, and Patrick, and everybody else online. Y'all have a great night. Y'all take care.
Have a nice evening.
Talk to y'all again.
Okay, bye-bye, Doug. Thank you for calling.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, I think he was drunk.
No, I don't think he's drinking much.
Much.
I really don't. He seems to be that he's found something that interests him, and I think he's a creative guy, and I don't think he's drinking that much. You know?
No, and remember this, Alex. Anybody who calls in, unless they are experienced callers like Tim,
all right, yeah,
different to interact when you're on the phone anyway. So
and he talks a lot, you know.
Yeah,
and that's hard for me to say, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of him from the screen here. There we go. Okay.
You know, the funny thing is, with the new Skype, I could hover over the circle and then click on the down arrow and actually remove people from calls. I don't see the mute as an option, but it says remove from call. And, you know, I could actually do it to you.
Yeah. And probably it'd probably remove you if you did it to me.
Yeah, maybe, because it's a group call. How about Facebook and their group thing? Isn't it good that you didn't use that?
Well, no, because
there's a bug.
Because you just got the story all wrong.
What do you mean?
It wasn't Facebook.
Oh, it was Apple.
It was FaceTime.
FaceTime.
And it was their group FaceTime,
Yeah.
There was some way that people could get in on your call or something. I don't know.
Oh, and they could turn on your camera and they could spy on you. The only thing is,
you picked up the call. Yeah.
Yeah. If they spied on me, it's not interesting.
Yeah, go ahead, spy on me. There's nothing happening here. However, if we could spy on Ray right now, he's making his wife happy.
Yeah. Did he turn his mic off?
I wish he'd left it on. And is he actually making his wife happy in the way that we would like to think he was making his wife happy, or is he just saying, yes, dear, you're right? I mean, you know, that
could be sweeping the floor, and that could be it. Yeah.
Yeah, he could be taking out the garbage. That would make his wife happy. Takes very little to make women happy, right, Charlene? Take out the garbage.
Right.
Everything's fine.
Do the dishes.
Make the bed. Right.
I haven't been working out lately.
I have.
You have?
Why? It's cold.
I haven't stopped.
Well,
I just thought I'd throw that in there because I'm the crippled one.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, 2 days this week I had the dentist. Okay, Tuesday and Wednesday I had to go to the dentist. Monday, what was it? It was something else that I had to do here.
You had fallen. Were you sore or something?
No, that was a week ago. That was a week ago. I still have the bruises on my knee, though it's almost healed. And also I had a thing on my heel, but that seems to have gotten better. Yeah. But no, there were some other reasons. I mean, it was last week I went 2 days. So, you know, but this week I haven't, so maybe I'll go tomorrow. Well, no, it's going to be 17 fucking degrees during the day out there.
I don't know about Charlie, but you know it's 58 degrees right now in the Bay Area.
Oh, well, good for you. Good for you, motherfucker.
58.
Right. Oh, hey, it's 8 degrees here in New York City.
Here we go.
Minus 16.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Is that where you are?
Yeah, that's right now. And when I wake up in the morning, it'll be minus 24.
Hey, do you think the shootings are down in
Wait a
Chicago?
minute, wait a minute. What do you got,
Like
Charlie? What do you got, Charlie?
63.
63 degrees.
You know, in Chicago, it's like minus 60 wind chill or something. Do you think that the murders are down? You know, they're usually having many murders every day, every weekend. I wonder if it's so cold there that the murder rate is going to go down for the week.
They kill them on the internet.
Oh, I see.
Say, if anybody else wants to call, we have some room now because we lost. We've lost Ray.
Well,
Okay.
we got his tag.
Yeah, we have a note from him, and he'll probably be back. You know, it should be soon. You know, I mean, I don't know how he's keeping his wife happy, but
Well, he's been married for a long time. Maybe he's figured it out.
he's got it all figured out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Oh, wait a minute. I got a story here. Sometimes I spit out stories into my printer and then I forget to read them to you. You know who Bryan Singer is?
Is he the guy that's on the getting the Me Too action right now?
Well, it isn't Me Too, really. He's being sued and being investigated because of parties he held with underage boys. And it was so much so that for whatever reason, he, as a movie director, and he directed a movie that's out right now, but he got kicked off the movie 2 weeks before they were through shooting, and somebody else finished shooting it. But because he did the primary directing job on the film, he gets credit for being the director on the film. And Bryan Singer directed Bohemian Rhapsody. And it looks now that in spite of his sexual peccadillos that are being revealed, and because of the fact that I think they fired him because he wasn't showing up for work or something like that.
Were these accusations or convictions?
Well, no, these are accusations so far. But it says, report notes a singer has been mired in controversy and was fired just 2 weeks after shooting the production. Remains the credited director on Bohemian Rhapsody. The report cites Singer's track records of hit making, including the X-Men franchise. And he also did one of my favorite films, Usual Suspects, if you remember. Noting that he reportedly has strong back-end provision in this deal. It says that he was fired for not showing up to set. Dexter Fletcher, who had been hired to complete the film with producer Graham King and others, but since Singer retained his director's credit, he is likely in line to receive what they call back-end compensation. And so because he is considered the director of the film, this back-end deal will net him $40 million.
Now, you said that he was accused of diddling young boys. Isn't that kind of like back-end compensation?
Yeah, it is. It is. It's definitely back-end compensation. Well, let's give one to Phil. Okay. Singer, meanwhile, signed to direct the female empowering tale Red Sonja for Millennium Films, and in recent weeks has found himself back in the spotlight for alleged sexual misconduct and rape after The Atlantic published a story including several new accusers. So there's your story. You know, it just seems that people who are now on the blacklist seem to be doing okay. I mean, it was like Bubs was saying that Louis C.K. was playing in San Jose and sold out every performance that he was doing. That, you know, that everywhere he goes, he sells out. Why? Because everybody wants to see what Louis C.K. has to say. And while he says it's ruined his career, he certainly is doing better in the clubs and halls and things like that. And even when he's there, people are outside protesting. People are going in and packing the joint. So
sounds like a Trump rally.
It does sound like a Trump rally. Well, that's all. That's the only story I have tonight. That's it. You know, no major stories to unfold to people. You know who died? Louisa Moritz. You remember Louisa Moritz? Very sexy woman. She was One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and she was always playing the sex pot in films. She died, I think, at 62. I can't remember what it was exactly. Well, that's my only other story. So good night, everybody.
Did you know Peter McGowan?
Where do I know that name?
He was the president or the head of the San Francisco Giants, and he president of Safeway stores.
No, but anyway, what?
Died yesterday, 77 years old, battling cancer.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
He's the guy that kept the Giants in San Francisco.
Gee, I'm in that age group where every disease is aiming itself at me. You know, yeah. They're all divvying up to see who's going to get me. And
you've been doing pretty good so far.
Well, I don't think
my mother's 90. She doesn't even take a pill. She's in perfect condition.
Yeah.
Has all her senses.
Yeah.
Drives.
Yeah.
She even drives me still crazy. But
yeah.
You know, I mean, people live, 90s and beyond. If they're healthy, it's a blessing.
What, Charlene? Sorry. Did you just collapse, Charlene? Oh, there we go.
Sorry.
Yeah. Well, the prostate cancer isn't going to get me if I have prostate cancer because he can't even feel it or see it. So we're waiting to see what happens.
I ignored it for a year and a half.
Well, you ignored it, but you knew that you had it. They were.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you knew you had problems. I don't have problems, and they don't feel it and they don't see it with the scopes or anything like that. So it could be going up for other reasons. My PSA and my free PSA could be low because of other things. He says, don't worry about it. Let me worry about it. He says, worst comes to worst, we give you the hormones and you'll live to be 95. And I said, well, I was planning on 100, but forget that part of it. I've got what you call the turtle, or the snail. I think in the Kaminsky method, the snail form.
The slow growing.
Yeah.
Oh, look who's back!
Look who's back! Ray,
is she happy?
Ray, did you make her happy?
He couldn't hear us.
Did you make her happy, Ray?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
What'd you do? Take the garbage out?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh no, why am I frozen? Yeah, I took the garbage out. I did the deed. I ate some dinner.
You did the deed?
No, I'm kidding. I didn't.
You really didn't? Oh, okay.
No. Sorry to disappoint you.
Well, you said
I thought that massage thing was just getting your neck ready to have to do the deed.
Yeah, well, that's how I get up for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can put it in your lap. Works pretty well.
Yeah.
You just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Not put it on high.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Continue.
Yeah.
Sit on a washing machine.
Well, no. I mean, he said he was going to make his wife happy. And I figured.
No, I just had to go eat dinner.
Oh, so you ate dinner, but you didn't want to give up your seat at the table here.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I figured you just could kick me off if it got full.
Did you save any dinner for us?
Sure. What would you like? Come on over.
Well, you see how pathetic.
We had some leeks that were freshly picked, and onions and taters, and some chicken sausage from the Costco.
Alex, how does that French American chef make a leek salad?
Well,
what's her name?
First, you take a leek.
Yeah.
That was Julia Child. She said.
Julia Child.
First, you take a leek.
First, you take a leek.
That's right.
And then you cut the leek.
Yeah. My favorite Julia Child moment was the moment that she was stuffing a turkey and somehow her hands were too greasy or whatever, and the turkey got away from her, slid across the counter, and fell on the floor. And she simply went over, picked it up, put it back where it was, and just says, "It wasn't down there that long," or something like that.
The
5-second rule.
And went on cooking it.
I love her.
And she's probably right, because, I mean, if the turkey hits the floor, and let's say, forget the 5-minute rule, it's down there for 2 minutes. what, you know, do you really think you're going to die of some kind of disease because it was on the floor?
Alex, you're a television guy. You know that when they do those shows, they got a fully cooked turkey, and then they got the one that she's preparing. That's not the one that they pull out of the oven.
I know that, but all I'm saying is, if food falls on the floor, I mean, is it suddenly going to
pick it up and you wash it?
Or you don't even wash it? Unless maybe it fell on a rug and there's a lot of fuzz on it, then you gotta want to wash it off, you know. But I've never been.
There's so much bacteria on turkey skin already.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Before I got Patrick's next, but you know the thing was they took a what did they do? They were trying to find out about bacteria, and they went into a bathroom and they swabbed the toilet seat, right? And then they checked for bacteria, and then they went and just took somebody's average hand who had been using it all day, and there was more bacteria on the hand than there was on the toilet
where they found
seat.
even more bacteria was on the hand. You know those things you stick your hand into that blow
Yes.
air?
Yeah.
There was
I
more
heard that.
bacteria on that than anywhere else in the bathroom.
Really?
Because it sucks
Okay.
all the air in, and all the bacteria comes in with it.
Okay, Patrick's
and then it blows out on your hand.
Patrick has his bacteria-laden hand up. Go ahead, Patrick.
Yeah, the other morning I was taking one of my pills, and it fell on the floor in the bathroom. And you know what? For the price that I pay for that fucker, I picked that bitch right up. I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die. But I mean, I wash my floor all the time anyway with bleach, so I figure, yeah, it's gotta be fine. The only reason I wiped it off is in case there was some dust that falls on the teeth. You know, like price of medication. I'll eat that bitch if it fell near the toilet.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, like I just paid for Cialis today. I paid $125 for a 3-month supply. That's 90 pills. So that's
pretty good deal.
It's a very good deal for me. I've got to go get my exception again next time.
Isn't there a coupon online for $200 for Cialis that you can add to your deal to knock it down?
No.
Check it out. I think there's a coupon
But
for Cialis.
I have to go.
$200.
I have to go get that. What do they call it? Exception or what is it?
Yeah, with your doctor.
Prior authorization.
The prior authorization. I never can remember the term. And usually, if your doctor wants it, you get prior authorization, but you just have to go through the process. But it's coming up on my Cialis. But anyway, I thought about it. You know, it cost me about $1.25 a day to pee okay. You know, so
without side effects.
Without side effects, yeah. So you know.
That's what it's for. Huh.
Yeah, you can either that or you can get Flomax. Flomax does the same thing.
Oh.
You know. Yes, Jeff.
Alex, when you go to the gym, do you have to wipe down all the equipment that you use?
I do it. I bring a towel with me, and then when I'm through, I just simply use the towel to just peripherally do that. It's just a courtesy. You know.
Some gyms have disinfected wipes.
Well, they have the
Yeah.
wipes, but they're too. I have to walk to go get them. So you know, but I mean, I use the towel, and I always do it. I think it's the right thing to do. You know, it's just common courtesy.
I sweat like a pig. I have to wipe it down.
Do you sweat like a pig? Well,
God!
you do.
I mean, even the floor has puddles. I have to wipe up the puddles.
Yeah, but how long do you do on the bike? You do an hour or something?
An hour, yeah, pretty hard.
Oh fuck!
He's still there from yesterday.
I only do 20.
I'm on the bike right now.
I do 25 minutes, and that's it. You know, and I'm getting so fucking sick and tired of it, to tell you the damn truth. You know?
Some of the girls told me you only do about 30 seconds.
Not with the Cialis.
Yeah, well, yeah. Depends on how
Cialis
many
is like
milligrams.
4 hours.
Yeah, what is with that prior authorization thing? Why don't they just give it to you automatically? You know, you got it before, you get it again. But every year I got to get a new prior authorization for Cialis. So,
you know, after the prostate surgery, in order to get more blood to the member, they've been prescribing the generic Viagra for me, 5 milligrams a day, and it's only costing me $5 a month for that size pill for a month's supply. I forgot what the generic name is that they're giving it now, but when I wanted Viagra, they wouldn't give it to me. Now it's $5. There's a couple times I paid over $300.
Really?
Yeah. You know, in the day when it worked.
I don't know. I call my doctor about this prior authorization stuff, and they just have a form they send. They already know how to do it. They know all the process to go through, and I've never been turned down for the prior authorization.
Do you see the light behind Ray's neck? Ray, take me to your leader.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that part of the?
Yeah, it's part of the thing. Yeah. Yeah, it's
now, what is that? That's a massager?
Yeah, it's so great, this thing.
Yeah. So how's the weather? How's the weather where you are?
It's like 65 and clear and sunny.
Fuck all of you. How much, Phil? Same thing with you, Charlie. It's got to be in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
Charlene, how? You're in New Jersey,
cold?
huh?
I was in my car earlier and it was 13. But I think you said, Alex, what is it, 9 now?
Right now, right now it's 7. I looked at my watch. I looked at my watch. Right, Mickey? It was 7, right?
It's 11:46. Good night, pal.
Okay, well.
What happened to that global warming?
Yeah, 7 was the age of the girlfriend.
That was the latest thing from Trump.
Global blaming.
He said, "Where's this global warming they keep talking about?" And somebody, I think somebody actually had to get on and explain to him that global warming can cause exactly what's going on right now. Yes, Patrick. What, 3 degrees. 3 degrees in Connecticut.
3 degrees.
Patrick's the winner tonight, but you come close.
That's exactly what I asked. I said, where's this fucking global warming that everybody's yapping about? Because it should have fucking here.
It's an Al Gore scam.
Yeah, it is. It's actually global warming that's causing
well, you don't understand. You don't understand that global warming can cause
science. It's too hard.
Freezing temperatures.
Believe any of that bullshit. As soon as, you know what? When Wisconsin had fucking palm trees growing, then they'll say, you know what? You guys were right. Until then,
it has nothing to do with things getting hotter.
It's not you guys.
Called warming, so
no, it's global warming, but it's warming certain areas that cause the effect. For instance, this current cold thing is an effect of global warming, but I can't explain it to you because
you guys who say science and all of this stuff, your scientists also said the world was flat.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Yes, scientists didn't say that.
Wait a minute. First of all,
ancient Greeks knew the world.
First of all, since we haven't heard much from them tonight, hold on a second. Since we haven't heard from them much tonight,
Charlene was first.
Yeah, but let's go to Jeff anyway, and then we'll go to Charlene.
I'm quick anyway. I used to live in Wisconsin, and it used to be 25 below zero, and it sucked, and that's why I left.
Yeah,
is it still 25 below?
I used to live in Minneapolis, and it was 26 below zero, and it sucked.
Wind like
I used to live in New York, and it sucked.
I used to live on the top of Mount Everest, and it really freaking sucked.
Charlene?
Oh yes, I was swallowing. It's a polar vortex, right?
You're advertising.
It's a what?
Polar vortex.
It's a polar vortex. That's what it's called, and it's caused by global warming.
Hey, you know, if you were just swallowing, girls from New Jersey, you were making them proud.
What?
She said I was just swallowing. So, you know, girls from New Jersey.
Snooky's real happy right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
would she grow an inch?
You know, I mean, we have a president who's anti-science. He doesn't listen to his security
Generals.
people. You know, because he knows everything. He's smarter than the rest of them. He's the smartest guy in the room.
He thinks you can throw money at it and go to Mars now instead of having to wait 10 or 12 years.
Patrick, you know, I like you a lot, but this global warming thing, you're wrong. You're really wrong.
I admit,
you really told him.
and I admit, as soon as there are palm trees growing out of my front window here, I'll admit to everybody I was wrong, and it's recorded, and it'll probably be still recorded somewhere in the future. And I'm saying right now, when there's palm trees growing in Wisconsin again, because remember, climate change has happened since the beginning of the earth. I mean, where I live used to be glaciers, and I'm sure at some point it was tropical. So when that bitch gets tropical again, y'all can say, see, global warming, and I'll say, I was wrong.
You know what the
60s when Bangladesh, people were, there was drought, and there was all sorts of things, sub-Saharan deserts, and you know, they hadn't had rain in years.
Look, wait a minute,
people
hold
were
on a
dying.
second.
Oh, that was when George Harrison did the concert for Bangladesh, right?
Probably, but you know, I mean, these things. That's the way it's been.
Oh yeah. Phil, look at the fires we've had. Look at the floods we've had. No,
that was caused by PG&E.
Yeah, it was caused by PG&E.
And some guys barbecue in Windsor.
Also caused
the U.S. military takes climate change very seriously.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, how do they do that, Charles? How does it?
For one thing,
wear a jacket.
They're planning moves of naval bases on the East Coast because those places are going to be underwater in the next 15 years.
Yeah, yeah. So, you know, I mean, the only good thing about global warming is there'll probably be no Miami left. But that's, that's a personal thing of mine. I hope it wipes out every one of those motherfuckers. What?
And I won't be fucking cold, so I've got no problem.
Right.
I mean, it's real. Warm that bitch up.
All I know is we've had some very unusual. We've had some very unusual events in the last couple of years. I mean, between the fires and the floods and the and things like that.
Hurricanes.
The hurricanes have been much more ferocious because the water is warm, and it thrives in warm water. So.
And it's Trump's fault.
No, it's not Trump's fault.
Oh, okay.
It's Trump's stupidity that doesn't realize it's a factor. You know,
the question is how much are we affecting it, and can we slow it down so that we can do things? I mean, that's the major issue.
I mean, he wants to protect us. He wants to protect us from mythical people, but he doesn't do anything to protect us on the things that are really threatening us. And one of them happens to be our treatment of the ecology and the world around us. What do you mean, China?
Is it us, the United States, that is causing this, or is it these emerging countries, including China, emerging industrial countries that are doing unfettered pollution?
Oh, au contraire. When it comes to China, they're doing everything to try and stop it because they see it in front of their very faces.
Yeah, they wear masks so that they can walk outside.
Phil, don't make a joke about it. The fact is,
it's not a joke.
China has been working overtime to get rid of their pollution, and it's very difficult because of the massive amount of population and, as you say, the industrialization that's taken place. But they're working on it really hard because they know that it can kill their people. Yes, Ray.
Yeah, China is working on it, and part of the reason they have to wear masks in China is not the pollution, it's the sand from the Gobi Desert that gets into the jet stream and then comes over the populated areas. I was there, it sucks. The Gobi Desert is huge, and the sand blows in the air.
And you walk around Chinatown here, and you see all of these Chinese guys wearing masks.
In China,
they're wearing masks, Phil, because when they get a cold, they actually have consideration for other people.
Sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know your point. I don't understand.
And when you get a cold, you walk around sneezing, and everybody gets your fucking cold because you don't wear a mask.
That's true, but I don't get colds.
Oh, you don't?
No.
No.
You just get other things.
You just get prostate cancer.
I get cancer, but no colds.
I didn't want to say that.
Maybe if you had a mask, you wouldn't have cancer.
Yeah. Oh, at least I couldn't smell it.
Yeah, but I mean the thing is that China is to begin with, one of the ways they're trying to stop their own personal pollution is they have a very heavy movement towards alternative forms of power, and they're going to be probably the world leader in alternative means of power. Because we have not put an emphasis on it in this country, but they put a priority on it in China.
Yeah, because they're stealing our technology.
No, Phil, you're always please. We're not. We don't need a whataboutism right now. That has nothing to do.
No, but that's what they're doing.
No, they're not stealing our technology when it comes to alternative sources of energy. Okay, and they have made it a priority to go to alternative forms of energy within the next 15 to 20 years in China. We aren't doing that here. Yes, Charlene.
Don't they say we have it's like the consensus now? They think most scientists 12 years, and if we don't do anything by
then, Cortez said 12 years.
No, she didn't make that up.
Yeah, no, that's what she said.
Please, Phil. It's
not everyone makes things up. I know some people do.
It's AOC now. Yes, Patrick.
Now I've got a serious question about this. I did hear her say that for 12 years. So where did that put Al Gore's predictions? I mean, now we've got contrasting and conflicting predictions on when the world's going to end. I mean, she's saying 12 years. He was saying, by now everything will be melted. Who's right? Who's wrong? Who's got the science? I mean,
I would say between you and me, Patrick, that Gore's got more of the science. What Cortez has is a huge set of balls.
She didn't make that up.
And
it's published.
Well,
Al Gore said he could name that too in 10 years.
There is a published report that we have 12 years. Yes, there is a published report. But that doesn't
mean the world ends in 12 years.
No.
That means it'll be too late to do anything about it.
That's right.
Well, if we don't start it.
Yeah.
There's some preacher that said the world was going to end a couple of years ago.
This is ridiculous. Do you remember when the ozone had a hole in it, and it wasn't not a political issue, and the whole world got together and fixed the problem?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do the same damn thing instead of making this a political issue? It's not a political issue.
I think it still has a hole in it.
I mean, why do you want to make it a political issue? I mean,
I sure don't.
It maybe, Patrick, you don't believe in global warming, but why don't we at least investigate it and see if there's something we can do about what we perceive to be global warming? And,
I'd rather blame Trump.
Huh?
How did it?
I'd rather blame Trump.
I don't blame Trump.
No.
He's only been there 2 years.
It's his fault.
I blame Trump for those 2 ugly sons he's got. Those pieces of shit.
Yeah, good hair. I mean.
No. That's what happens when bad sperm gets into other people's ovums. Anyway, listen, that's it for tonight. That's science, by the way. That's it for tonight. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Phil. Who else do we have here? Oh, Doug. Thank you, Doug. Do we have anybody else that ditched us? Nah, I can't think of any. Anyway, that's it. Hey, everybody, why don't you wave goodbye to our audience out there, and I'll wave back to you, okay? There they go, ladies and gentlemen. That's the Citizens Panel for tonight. We'll have another one assembled tomorrow night right here at Gabnet, same time. By the way, tomorrow night, 9:30, it's Damian Chaplin with The Exchange. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, right here on Gabnet, same time, same station in life, I'll be here. And as always, if you see her, Tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye.